40 years ago today, Apollo 16 landed on the moon, the fifth such successful giant step. By anyone's standards, it was a triumph of science and technology and political will. And I remember so many of us who are old enough to remember thinking, if humankind could do this, what could humankind not accomplish? And yet today, over 1.1 billion people still practice open defecation because they don't have access to the most basic sanitation facilities or the habits to use them. 1 in 10 of the global population still doesn't have access to improved sources of drinking water. If 2 generations ago we could land men on the moon, we can and we must afford people here on Earth 2 of their most basic needs and rights: safe water and basic sanitation. Because until we do, progress everywhere, development progress, will falter. Safe drinking water, dignified sanitation, and hygiene are at the heart of achieving the Millennium Development Goals. They are keys to reducing mortality rates in children under 5, keys to preventing stunting in the first 1,000 days of life, keys to achieving gender equality, ending the tedious and backbreaking work so many girls and pregnant women endure daily simply to collect water. And separate facilities are keys to keeping girls in school, especially during puberty. Their privacy in schools keeps them in schools and out of early marriage and childbirth. Certainly, last month's news on meeting the MDG water target ahead of schedule was widely welcomed. But we must not forget that many millions of people, more than the combined populations of Bangladesh, Brazil, Indonesia, and Nigeria, still don't have access to improved sources of drinking water. And remember that even people who have improved drinking water sources may not yet necessarily have clean water. And let's also remember that another subsection of MDG 7, improved sanitation, is way off track and behind schedule. 2.5 billion people still don't have access to basic sanitation facilities. That's 37% of the global population. Of that figure, almost half still practice open defecation. Among sanitation practices, the one that poses the greatest threat to human health is open defecation. It has justifiably been called an affront to human dignity. Indiscriminate defecation has fatal consequences for the most vulnerable in our communities, the young children, because it is the root cause of transmission of diarrhea and other related diseases. Every day, today, yesterday, tomorrow, over 3,000 children under 5 will die as a result of diarrhea. That's 1.1 million children every year. That makes it the second largest cause of under 5 mortality in the world today. We must eliminate open defecation, and we can.